New month, new Q&A, of course. So I'm getting all the questions from your comments, and what I did was make screenshots of everything, and now I cannot find them anymore. I think they are over here. Yep, there they are. Alright, first question is from Hannes Gottschall, which is a patron of mine. He or she is the priority patron commenter, but there wasn't one of them that did ask a question, and this question was a bit interesting. So, hi White Sea, $1 pleb patron here. Really enjoying your videos, and as a FabFilter and Reaper enthusiast myself, they contain very useful information to me. The first two things I'd love to find some of your knowledge and experience on. First would be phase issues when using plugins like EQ or compressor. I know of problems when using linear phase mode on an EQ to introduce pre-ringing, and I heard about coloration from compressors, but I don't really know why those happen, and so far I didn't find any useful information that could explain it to me in a way that I'd understand it. I plan on getting me the computer music tutorial for my next birthday though. I'd hope to be able to learn more about digital sound processing there. So that's the part of the question I actually want to answer. And so whenever whenever you change something in sound, is it with compression or is it with EQing, there is a big chance of phase correlation happening or phase shifting happening around certain frequencies. And the exact reason why this is something that I do roughly understand. I'm missing a few chromosomes to really understand it, but I roughly understand it, but I find it really hard to explain it. And because it involves a lot of audio electronic basics stuff that you first need to understand before I can explain that. And as soon as you understand how the analog way works, you will automatically start to understand why it also works the same way in a digital environment. So it's better to just accept it as a fact for yourself than to try to understand it, because it really gives a lot of headaches. It also did give me. So going to YouTube, Virginia David asks, do think of doing a review or tutorial on Melodyne? Yes, I will do that. Melodyne is actually a very big thing. The way Melodyne works and the way you control it is actually pretty simple. But the way you need to think behind it is a bit difficult, so I want to take time for that. And right now I do have other priorities. Meter plugs! Great video, little teaser. We've got something coming soon that's going to help with figuring out what Spotify is doing to your music. Looking forward to sharing it with you. I'm waiting for the email, guys. Ian Shepard, I'm waiting for your email. Come on. I want to be the first one to release a video on it. Namo Nara. Do you even Mac Pro lift, bro? So, those things are really, really heavy. I should actually buy an extra one just to lift every day a few times, just for my fitnessing. No name. Man, you say you have run out of money, but did you forget you still have your Ferrari? Yes, I know. I'll insert a small picture of my Ferrari here. And if I sell it, I don't have a set of wheels anymore, and I cannot move to a different location anymore. So, yeah, I can use public transport, but public transport is even more boring than driving a car, because everyone is sitting like this in public transport in Holland. So no, I'm not selling my Ferrari. Rob Oerkoelhart, can your DAW do this? Can you do this?
But can you do this?
Mensamin asks, have you tried FL Studio? Yes, I have tried a bit of FL Studio already, and to be honest, I got a lot of requests in the comments about try this DAW, try that DAW, but my workflow is very specific, and people try to force me into a certain DAW that suits their workflow but doesn't suit my workflow. And my workflow is pretty unique from everybody else. So, and that's a thing a lot of viewers don't understand. I'm really looking for my own workflow, not for you. It sounds a bit rough, but not for you. So I have looked into FL Studio, and chances are big that it isn't going to be my next DAW. I will try it out a bit further, but it's not on my priority list right now. Lucas Lopman, nice video, a cool idea with the overhead rig. Could you maybe do a video about your modifications on the console sometimes? Yeah, there are a few, well, there are getting more and more modifications on the console, and there are still more in my head that I want to do, but not doing right now. So what I'm going to do right now is make a note for myself that I will make a few videos about that, since I now have an overhead shooting rig.
Console mod width scheduling. Cool.
It's on my list. Jeffrey van Doornen asks on my 3D sound video or stereo image video, why not use a calibration microphone? A good question, very good question. Well, first of all, I was aiming the video on smaller setups. Well, not only bedroom studios, also a bit bigger studios, but you know, easy and quick tips. And buying a calibration microphone or hiring one is actually above the level of the video I was making. You can use a calibration microphone, but the problem with a calibration microphone is there's a lot of data coming out of it and you need to interpret that data in the correct way. And a lot of people make the wrong interpretation of the data and adjust the wrong things. I'm not a measurement expert, so I cannot explain how to interpret the data coming from a calibration microphone. But if you know what you're doing, if you know how smart works, if you know what the things say. I do have a book that is really big. It's from Bob McCarthy at home. That does have everything explained in it, but then again, it's so much information. It's a lot. Do you have any advice for someone who never has the opportunity to mix on monitors and can only use headphones for the entirety of the composition, sound design, mixing and mastering process? Yeah, try to find a set of speakers. You always want to check on headphones and on speakers. They are two different worlds. If you're using headphones, use open headphones is one of the suggestions. You can also send it to my track check so I can check it on my speakers and my acoustics. And yeah, test your mixes out and get used to your own. I'm not saying that you cannot do it with headphones. I would never advise it, but I think you will be able to do it, and don't worry about it too much. It's really about checking your mixes on different systems and getting to know what your headphones are actually doing. Tom GS asks, I have an unrelated question. In one of your Q&A videos you show off your corner bass traps. Could you walk us through the steps of building these and what the theory behind the construction is? I've been wanting to build one my own with Rockwool, but I have concerns about building them correctly and health concerns about Rockwool. Don't want to be breathing Rockwool dust every time I produce. So as long as Rockwool is in its own place and encapsulated with, we've used special cloth that we shielded the Rockwool with. And as long as it's in its place and nobody touches it, it's fine. But if you're working with Rockwool, really use breathing masks and also use gloves and stuff, because Rockwool is pretty dirty stuff. And JTV, will the Moto AVB interfaces allow you to record with the effects? Or is those effects for only monitoring? The 16A has got a very big I/O setup, and this includes the outputs of the mixer, which you can route back to your Mac and stuff. So yes, you can record with the effects on it if you want to do it. I don't know why you want to do it, but yeah, you can. Taylan Soidan asks on a video that's like 1 year old. It's a beat of the month video, something I'm not doing anymore, of me mixing and mastering a hardstyle track. Where is the track? It's been years. So this is what happens with about 80% of productions that I work on. They never see the light of day. They never get released, or the artist got tired of it and didn't want to search for a label, or they ended up with not releasing it because they didn't want to release it or something. And for me, that's not a weird thing. A lot of productions simply never get released. And the only thing that I don't like about it is that there are a lot of productions that I actually want to have on my listen page, which I cannot put there because they are not released. No Name asks on my comparison video. I had a lot of comments on the comparison video of the music streaming services. I would like to add another thing. When capturing the audio stream file as WAV file, probably 16 or 24, 32 bits and 44.1 or higher, isn't some kind of dithering being applied that would further enhance the audio quality of the different streams? If you grab an MP3 song, convert it to WAV and burn an audio CD, the song will sound a bit better and fuller, like if the MP3 to WAV conversion added some missing data on the MP3 versus playing the CD on each song as separate MP3. I wouldn't go as far as betting a Ferrari, My Ferrari, but I think if you could have the exact files the different services are using to blah blah blah. Which is a good question. I'm not sure what is happening. I think that because an MP3 is maximized until 15 kilohertz and after 15 or 16 kilohertz there isn't any audio in it anymore. And I think the CD will get a few harmonics from it in the higher part or something. It's a bit difficult. I don't really know. One of the things that I could try to do is the next time is play it back from the audio output of my iPhone to see what happens. Like really going analog and then going digital again. Because now I kept the loop digital to really see what was coming out of the stream and out of the platform. I did sample it at 96 kilohertz and 24 bits just to make sure that I would capture everything. In the Mix says and asks, this video is actually incredible. I've been wanting to test this out for a while and I'm thankful for the painstaking effort you put in. The video took me about 10 hours to make, so that's a lot for a video. I wonder if this should affect the way we mix or if we should just hope that the streaming sites will improve. Never let a bad codec or a bad end product sound quality affect your way of mixing. Always make the best mix you can make. Always make the best result you can make. Because in the end, Spotify also stores the original files. Of course they do. And when they come with an update of their streaming algorithm, of their streaming codec, they can encode the original WAV file again to what they want to use for the future. To be future proof, always make sure that you just put a high quality file out there and just let the artifacts be the artifacts. Never adjust for the artifacts of the streaming, because you will lose it in the long run then. Same goes for tricks to work around the loudness normalization. They will work right now, but not in the long term. Wilfredo Fernando Cedilos Magana says on the streaming comparison video, Snake Oil, my assistant engineer and I can't hear any difference at all. Listening through our mastering is Samsung S7 mono speaker. Yeah, and that's the other side of the story. We are already using such crappy speakers that we aren't going to hear a difference at all. That it doesn't matter what the streaming services are doing. But for the ones, the 10% to 20% of people that listen through earbuds, that listen through high quality setups, we want to have better. At least give us the choice. Jim Arnold on my last Q&A video. Haha, I love the way you shut down the idiots. They should be blessed that you even share your valuable knowledge for free. So, there will always be idiots, there will always be haters. But research has been proven that hate and love actually is the same thing that happens in your head. So all the haters are actually lovers. And I like to embrace them in the same way they embrace me. And that's why I'm doing this. I have to say it helps because the last month I never had a negative comment. I didn't have one. I was really searching for it for this video. Eduardo Maura asks, by the way, what's your name, mister? My actual name is Wietse. My last name is Gerichhausen. But in Holland a lot of people call me Wietsos. And people that cannot pronounce Dutch names call me Whitesea. And that's also where the studio name is coming from. Famitori says, I really like the sound of 48 kHz aliasing and I wish someone would make a plugin to intentionally alias. I also really like it. That's why I sometimes turn off the oversampling, so I have a bit of aliasing so that I get a more harsh sound, which really works in hardstyle and in electronic music productions. Da honky. Hey, awesome video! How are you going to reach latency under 1 millisecond without the Avid hardware? I'm asking because I'd like to run such a system as well. As far as I know, it's impossible. Because of the various buffer sizes, one has to run on normal DAW systems. So 1 millisecond is actually very low and there isn't a single computer that's capable of doing it except for native Avid hardware, because the software really needs a bit of time. And what I wanted to do was I want latency under 1 millisecond between the communication of the interface and the computer. Over USB this is like shit, because USB isn't a two-way protocol. It needs to switch every time and that's where the latency is coming from. That was actually what a few computer guys were saying to me. I'm not sure if it's true. I simply believe them. Now I'm running over AVB Ethernet and this is a two-way protocol which is time sensitive, which is really like under a millisecond. But the computer still, in the DAW, you still need to have a bit of time between the in and outs because it needs to process some things. And to get the lowest latency, it's all about optimization. The whole key is optimization. I'm a singer. Do you want some vocal samples from me? I like your videos. I kijk your videos. I like. Send me some vocal samples. I will use them in one of my next demos. Just send it to my email address. It's underneath every video. Keenan Blockson. They limit what? Are you paying that much to stay up to date on new features? Seriously consider switching to Reaper yesterday. LOL. I've already been through the consideration and what I'm seeing is that I still need to use Pro Tools. I cannot move away from it that easy. I still have projects from clients going on and I sometimes just get a request to use Pro Tools because the session is already in Pro Tools. When I'm working with Sound Vision Studio, I need to use Pro Tools because they run Pro Tools and yeah, it's a license of... the HD license is 80 euros a month, the normal license is 35 euros a month. It's only one job to earn it back. I mean, it's less than one job to earn it back. So, what's the big deal? Jeroen van Dijk, there he is again. He's in all my Q&A videos. Hi there, how do you think about a subwoofer in your studio? I did miss a lot of low end in my studio monitors. I bought a subwoofer and now I can really Here much more low end and it's easier comparing tracks to each other. What do you advise how to set it up properly? There are two reasons why people buy subwoofers. The first one is that their studio acoustics aren't ideal. Their room is too small, they don't have bass traps, they don't have an optimized room, and they buy a subwoofer to fix the low end. Because problems in small studios always arise around sub frequencies. And what you're actually doing is working around some symptoms and you're not tackling the problem at the source. The other reason why people use subwoofers is in some bigger studios they use a mono subwoofer just for the last octave, like 20 to 40 Hz or maybe even to 80 Hz. And those are really big subwoofers. They are big enough to do a PA setup of 200 or 300 people. Because if a speaker is bigger, it doesn't need to push that hard. It only needs to move a small bit and you will get less distortion in your low end. That's the other reason why there are subwoofers in some rooms. I know one room that has. It's a really big subwoofer compared to the room, but it works. I heard it. It's amazing. Aviva asks, how long have you been doing all of this? You are really good. I've watched many of your videos and I'm completely inspired. I've been doing this for 10 years or something. I started when I was 14. I wasn't really serious about it. And I started in the studio in 2011, 2012, 2011. Like the last quarter of 2011 I started in the studio. So yeah, 5 years or something, 6 years? Something like that, 7 years, I don't know. Scum Syndicate says, Reaper is bedroom musician. No, it isn't. There are a lot of big studios, mobile studios, broadcasting facilities that actually started to use Reaper because it's just much better feature-wise. Kyle Pierce says, so are you pretty much putting the mouth of the smile right after the fundamental and then placing lips? I guess you'd call them on the fundamental and the higher pitched overtones. I never look at sound in technical ways with fundamentals and overtones and harmonics and stuff. I simply feel. I use my heart and my stomach. Morris Kramer, this really was a great video, man. This deserves to be on a promotion page on the FabFilter website. Maybe? Maybe not. It's not that I would feel better if I'm on the FabFilter website. I want to stay independent as a channel. Because then people will think that I will get paid for it and being sponsored and stuff, and it's better to stay independent. Wellington Marrera, please make a gain staging tutorial video. I would like to know how you do it. Thank you. Just keeping everything around nominal level. That's what gain staging is about. I'll think about the video. I'm not sure how I would make such a video, but I'll think of it. Ori Kadem Naim, Studio One is limited. I think you're missing big time on one of the best DAWs out there. Lots of tutorials to help you find your way. Best of luck in any DAW you choose. Thanks for the luck. I know. Studio One is a great DAW, just not for me. That's what I'm saying all the time. It's not all. It's a great DAW for a lot of guys, but that doesn't mean it's great for me. I have a different workflow. Morris Kramer asks, in Dutch, what is the master AES? And in English this is, what is the master AES? So the master AES bus was actually coming from Sound Vision Studio. And it was actually just the AES output on our DigiDesign 192 boxes, which were going to our master speakers, and we called it Master AES. And the reason why I'm still calling it Master AES is simply because of session compatibility. We are all still using that Master AES name, and right now it doesn't make any sense anymore, but we use it for compatibility and we've never changed it. So that's what Master AES is. Mark Pianists asks, wonder how long it will be before that make software that will mix the entire song for you. Probably be complicated to even try with all the variables. I know Isotope has some out there that assist, but I demoed it and I didn't like it. The biggest problem software has right now is human feel, because software doesn't have human feel. So they can help us getting further along the way, but we still need to input our own feel, our own taste. And that's it for this Q&A video. I think it was long enough now. So if you liked it, let me know with a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, then you know what to do. If you're already below, leave a comment with questions for future videos, ideas for future videos, something else you want to say. Reaper in caps is also okay. Well, not, because why? This video is sponsored by patrons. You can also sponsor me by becoming a patron over here. Check it out. It's great. I even publish an extra video every week to Patreon. So check out Patreon. Also, check out one of my other videos over here. Yeah, it's free. Thanks for watching this Q&A, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Bye bye.